All right. Give you a few seconds to get on. As you come aboard, please say hello. Let me know that you're there. That awkward moment when you go, all right, let's get this thing started. But there's nobody there. Michael Marzano, Michael Thompson, Wendy Mack. Michael, hey, what's up? Rainmaker in the house. Alan, what's up, Alan, sir? Raymond Ching. Alexandra. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Good evening, sir. Ernie, welcome, Ernie. Good morning from the East Coast, sir. Welcome. Marco, all the way from Germany. Hey, Marco, my friend. How are you, sir? Please, for all the new people, Ernie, it looks like a new name to me. Anybody who comes aboard brand new, please share with me your school name and where you're tuning in from. I'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I get to share that. I just posted at my Facebook page that Rainmaker will be coming to San Francisco, actually to my Millbury location. Michael, talk to me about that. Share with everybody, type it in, the link to the event, the name of the event, and just give a quick synopsis, and I will repeat it back. And while you do that, sir, I want to say this is Rainmaker, Membership Systems and Software present Success Never Sleeps with me, Brannon Beliso. It's turned into a nightly Facebook Live event, and we talk about using the power of social media. Not too long ago, and I've been doing this for a while, but I was listening to a Gary Vee piece, and he talks about relevancy and frequency. And he was talking, somebody was criticizing him because his message is getting to be kind of, repetitive, the same message over and over. And he says some people doesn't hear it the first time, they don't hear it the second time, the third time, the fourth time. And he's on every day. So the kinship I found with that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So to have that kinship Gary Vee's, way up there. But to see him doing what he's doing and to know that I've already been mimicking a lot of that behavior shows me that my mindset is progressive. My mindset is thinking ahead of that curve. And I used to do a monthly webinar for Rainmaker, and I had this idea, we're going on 2-3 months now, of making this a nightly thing. But the big thing is I didn't want to set a time. I figured critical thinkers, you seek out the knowledge that you need, and all the algorithms and the data will say, well, you should post at this time and this day, and data proves you'll get the most hits and the most responses. And I recognize it's not so much. I want quality, we'll say leads, for the lack of a better word. We know, everyone who's ever done certain things for us, Groupon did not work. We had tons of trials, but I wouldn't consider many of them quality leads. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. I love your commitment. I am committed, and I will keep it going. Absolutely. So I'm very passionate. And then Gary Vee turned around and said that. He says, it doesn't matter how many viewers you got, it's how many quality viewers. Who's taking what you're saying and becoming those raving fans, really immersing themselves in the tribe that you're cultivating. And that resonated to me on all levels as well. So I see repeatedly the same people every night. Jeremy Epstein, one of our regulars, right? Who else is here? Let me look back. So I'm talking Mike. Good evening, Mike. Ernie, Brenda, Shane, Richard. Ernie's saying, I have been on here before, but I would love to share. My name is Ernie McKinney. My school is All-Star Martial Arts, and you're in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, welcome, sir. I hope you're recovering better from the hurricane. My prayers go out to everybody there, that things recover quickly, swiftly, and everybody's back to life. That would be a good thing. A good thing. So welcome, Ernie, all the way from Jacksonville. Marco's tuning in from Germany. Where else are people tuning in from? Okay, so Michael from Rainmaker is sharing with us. It's the Rainmaker's Rapid Start Workshop. It's going to be on October 13th at my Millbury location. Just simply go to the link that's here. Just scroll down and look under the comments. It's 5 minutes from SFO. So if you're flying in for that event, it's 5 minutes from the airport. I kid you not. So, and the hotel to stay at, which is within walking distance, is the El Rancho Inn in Millbrae. But there's tons of hotels there. Jeremy is sharing September, October. I have something booked every weekend because of your methods. Excellent, sir. Bloss. Yeah, I got it, Bloss. I do. I swear I will never mess up your name again, sir. Bloss Vegas. Sorry about that, sir. But Bloss is tuning in. Grateful. I had a chance after exchanging a private conversation with Bloss, and it touched my heart to look up some of his comments and work. And you know, he's a giver too, and I'm humbled and grateful to share this time with you, Bloss. Great. I really am. It's cool. Paul Purse, again, somebody new I haven't seen before. If you're tuning in for the first time, do let us know the name of your school and where you're tuning in from. Cool. Freddie Moreno. And I say that passionately because I believe we are a collective of critical thinkers and thought leaders. You are not sheep. You do not live from the herd mentality. You do not stand in line and follow the masses. That is not why you own a business. That is not why you've chosen the path that you have. I don't believe that. So it's really important that we do that hard work and we understand it. We hear it's like a trendy buzzword, right? Know your why. Know your purpose. Develop those values and those brand absolutes, and you know, write your action plan, and then build the team and write the systems and execute. It sounds pretty romantic, but it's a lot of hard work. Everybody's so fixated on how do I get 10 new students? How do I get 10 new students? I'm more fixated on how do I keep the 10 I have first? Because I understand referrals are the best way to get new business. So I can really love the 10 that I have and take great care of them. I do believe organically they'll refer me to other people. And what is a better form of marketing? Let me reword that. What's a better form of marketing than a raving fan? That mom standing at the bus stop waiting for her kid, just raving about your school and the impact it's had on her son. Oh, right? So I'm very passionate. I understand the value of Facebook ads, an optimized website, SEO, all that, but do not lose your focus and own that 3 to 5 mile radius from your brick and mortar store. Who is your demographic? What are their needs? And then talk to them, right? That was courtesy of Stephen Reinstein. He gave me that word, that verbiage. But we talk about that passionately. Wayne, Kayvon, Nick, Mike, Chris Malloy, all the way from Australia. Welcome, welcome. Please, everybody, comment aboard. I'd love to know who you are, the name of your school, especially if you're a first-timer. You're very important to our collective. And the fact that you're even here is powerful for me. Cool? So this is Rainmaker Presents Success Never Sleeps with me, Brannon Beliso. We take your questions, and then collectively, we give vibe and input, and it's a lot of fun. So Bloss is saying, the raving fan helps create the trust that others will have for you even before they meet you. I agree with you, Bloss, 100%. Because if somebody's already talking about you and they're sharing their trust they have in you, that already, and this is a person that maybe their best friend trusts already because they have a relationship, it really, really makes a huge difference. I've had people walk through our doors and say, well, so-and-so referred you, her kids go here, can I just sign up? And you're just like, well, can I share with you the value of our school? You know, someone talked about that the other night. It's no longer the benefits, but it's really about selling your values. You know, selling for the lack of a better word, because I don't believe, Bloss, selling is evil. Selling is not evil. Lying to people is evil. Manipulating people to sign a contract and do other things, that's evil. But I don't believe promoting your services, your tribe, your culture responsibly and transparently is evil. I don't believe that at all. Not at all. Kalani Foster, welcome. Welcome, Kalani. Yes, Bloss, you know. So we feel that. We feel strongly about it. And I love the results I'm seeing. People being out there focusing more on service versus their ROI, going out doing these events and just genuinely serving because it's the right thing to do. It's in line with their Buddha spirit, and organically they're cultivating relationships of trust. If my first introduction is, hi, buy me, there's no trust there. It's like a guy walking up to a girl in a club and go, hi, can I have your phone number? Just that blatantly. It's like, I don't know you. You haven't bought me a drink. You haven't asked me to dance. Nothing. But it's a numbers game. Oh, you say no? Great. I try the next person. I try the next person until somebody says yes. We're better than that. We are. We are much better than that. And I don't say that in an egotistical way. I say that in a very humble, disciplined, grateful way. And I think it's important that we share that. If we market based upon fear, I got to make rent, I need 10 more students right now, got to do a cash out, then there's something substantially wrong with your business. And I talked about that, and I want to submit it as an article to MA Success, as well as it'll be one of the seminars in my event November. It's Time Live Encore. Is I want to really share with people, if you had to identify who you are today, which of the four would they be? Or maybe all three, or maybe a combination of two or more. So let's say you have four people: martial artist, martial arts instructor, successful small business owner. Now, not just a small business owner. I know a lot of people with small businesses that are failing miserably. So success, and you define your success, okay? Successful small business owner and entrepreneur. Which four or two or three are you? Or where are you in that process? Type it in. Give me some feedback on that. Hey, welcome, RJ. Hey, what's up, Adam, Master Deluxe? Good evening, sir. Welcome aboard. And while you guys type in that, Johnny's asking, what do you think is the best way to change tuition to include testing fees, parents' night out, leadership, etc.? Well, what we did, because we did have bell testing fees, I don't know, decades. We've been open 18 years in San Francisco. I think we got rid of it by year 7, somewhere in there. Yeah, Blanche, you were definitely all for. Everything I see at your Facebook would indicate that to me. And let me answer Johnny's question, then I definitely want to come back to that. So we were charging, at the time, Johnny, $35 per bell testing fee. Something very nominal, not a big deal. We were doing bell testing 4 times a year. 35 times 4 was 140. So we just rounded it off to 120, increased our tuition by $10 a month. Instantly. Anybody who walked through the door, you know, they loved it. No contracts, no upgrades, no bell testing fees, no enrollment fees, no cancellation fees. They loved it. They were just like shocked. I had a guy coming from another school going, are you sure? You're not pulling my leg, there's something wrong here. And so that was easy, the people coming through the door. Now, everybody else, we did this in September, Johnny. We dropped bell testing fees. And then in October, November, December, we were sharing with people that across the board, everybody's tuition goes up in January by $10 a month. That's what's going to go down. But in the interim, and you know I'm not big on cash outs. It's not my thing. And I believe in a steady cash flow each month. We let our grandfathered members in to say, if you do want to buy a year, pay in full, you'll get 10% off and avoid, testing fees and the price increase for another year. We did $144K in December, but of course we're prudent. We spent that money, as a drip system into our main bank account over 12 months. So we're very mindful of that, okay? And then people who, everybody was month to month anyway, so if you didn't take us up on the offer come January, everybody's tuition went up. But you know what's important with that? Is to give people a heads up. I'm not big on dropping this in their lap with a 30-day notice, things of that nature. It sounds kind of underhanded. It sounds like you're dropping this stuff in their lap, It's kind of like you go out there and sell a bunch of contracts and decide a month later, I'm not doing contracts, right? It's kind of underhanded. Please don't do that. As long as people got a good heads up and they understand why you're doing this, it's super powerful. And we found especially just the administrative work. Remember, we have 600 members in San Francisco. The administrative work alone to issue bell testing forms and to gather money, that's phenomenal. That's a lot of man hours to process all of that, to get that out, to collect it. It's a lot of man hours. And then last, when we discuss the Disney experience, I'm sure we've all been here, and you can definitely type in and share me that you have, that awkward moment when you walk up to a parent in the waiting area and you go, excuse me, ma'am, can I talk to you for a minute? Johnny's done with his test. Can you please come up to the front desk and take care of that bell testing fee? Oh, horrible and awkward, right? Definitely not the Disney experience. So we eliminated the paperwork. We eliminated that awkward moment, and my team is so much happier. They just were they're so mutinous to have to go out there and ask a parent for a bell testing fee, which was rightfully ours. Everybody across the board. And I think that's a success of our culture, is if I have a happy client and I have a happy team, then I have the freedom I have. And that's very, very important. If everybody on your team is objective to a certain policy or objective to a certain behavior, that's something you got to look at, right? It's not one or two people. If everybody's professing that, hey, they don't like having to go up to a parent in the waiting area and have that conversation, it's something you want to look at. Cool? Cool. So I just want to share that. So let me double back, Jeremy. Let's say hi to everybody else. There's so many people aboard. Oh my goodness. I'll pick it up right after. Wow. Jamie, Greg, Lyle, Lorenzo, Jeremy, Gabby. You sound like Bob Ross. What's happening, Gab? I follow you at Instagram and stuff, Gab. Very, very proud of you, sir. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. I love you, sir. And it's good to see you here. Greg, what's up? All the way from Canada. So we have Germany. We have Canada in the house. We have the Philippines in the house. And we have Australia. Are we worldwide? Are we global or what? Are we covering all our bases? Cool. Sam is asking me, how much is our tuition? We have a twice-a-week program that is $199 a month. We have a once-a-week program, which is $159 a month. $159. Yep. Is it Maxime or Maxime? Where are you tuning in from, sir? I missed someone's question and I want to get back to that. Okay, so going back to Bloss's analogy, he's saying he's all for. And I want to share that with you because I would consider myself an entrepreneur today. Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. I'm an entrepreneur because I have multiple revenue streams coming in. Okay? We have the 2 schools, which is our core income. The school this year will do $1.9 million at about a 40% gross net at the end of it all. So I'm very happy with that. I have the 1 merit badges, which we're rebranding to Kids Love Life Skills, which is going to allow us to reach coaches, homeschooled, chartered schools, parents. We're really broadening our audience, so we need to rebrand that product. Online passive income, right? I've produced all the materials, so that does really well. My consulting, Brannon Beliso, you know how that's working. Between the TED Talk, I have 2 new books out, Live, Learn, Grow, Lessons of a Reluctant Tiger, and my children's series. We just launched the first in that series. So you see where I'm going with this? I own real estate. I have investments in a couple of huge real estate projects. I have a healthy portfolio with investing, active investing all the time. I own my own home, but we don't look at that as income, you know, because it is until you sell it. It's just debt, right? But you see where I'm going with this? But the schools are still what takes precedent. The schools are our bread and butter. That is our focus, and all the additional revenue streams, passive income, is what's important. I posted that picture earlier. It was 6 o'clock. Both schools were rocking hard, and I was sitting watching my son play soccer. That's an example of an entrepreneur, when money is being made without you needed to be there, without any of your interjection. That's truly where an entrepreneur is. When you can invest in a stock, wake up tomorrow and be, 3 to 5K richer, and you sell it. That's an example of moving into entrepreneurship. So I'm very grateful that I'm learning that. If you get a chance, you want to know more about finances, talk to Samon. Talk to him. Good man. Yeah, I know you said that, Chris. Chris is saying it would be great if you did a dreaming room Facebook Live, just sharing some creative, innovative ideas. Yeah, we got Ellen Belcher here. We've got Bloss here. And there's a lot of smart people here. Stephen Reinstein, yeah, we'll have to consider that, because all I got to do, I think, is make people live. So share some more thoughts about that, Chris. And Alan Bloss, I would love to have you guys aboard, just sitting in an open dialogue one night, kind of a round table and just Q&Aing with people. People have so many questions, but with that said, Stephen Reinstein's here from Market Muscle as well. Hey, what's happening, Stephen? So Sam has asked me, what is the name of your school? Well, my schools are called One Martial Arts. We have one in San Francisco. We have one in Millbrae. San Francisco is about 605 active. Millbrae is about 375 right now. We've been stuck between 350, 400. We hit 400, we dropped. So we're working hard. To go to that next level, the 500, Millbrae is going to need more classes, more instructors, a little more creative in the scheduling. So we're working on that. Greg from Canada is sharing he added 4 kickboxers today, and I was not involved in the introduction to students, and I did not teach a class. Yay! There you go, right? There you go, sir. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear. I love it. I love it. I love it. William Anderson, welcome. Bloss, good night, Bloss, sir. Orlando, what's happening, Orlando? All right, so this is Rainmaker Presents. Success Never Sleeps with me, Brannon Beliso. Type in those questions. A lot of people here tonight. Share those questions. Tell me what you got going on. The thing I believe I promote most, that's super important for me, is to help you through my examples that everything's possible. When I first started professing, no contracts, no belt fees, no upgrades, no black belt clubs, we're not a retail store. People thought I was nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. And I knew, in my heart and everything that was going on, that at a values level, at a service-based level, that this had legs. And if I could make it profitable, more people would listen. And fortunately, we have. I think we do really well for 2 locations. Each location is only 3,700 square feet. Cool? And that's really what this is about. You need to define success for you. You need to find what works for you. And once you find that, and you define that, then it's a matter of creating it. It really is. And so people say, well, it's easier said than done. Of course it is. Owning a small business is very volatile. It's very hard, let alone making it from a personality-driven business, which most of us start out as, to a systems-driven business, to moving into entrepreneurship. It's a process, and it is a lot of work. Well, guess what? That's where the cliche comes. Do the 80 so you don't have to work 40. Cool? Chris, you're asking, can you please share Sam's financial guy's contact? Yeah, it's Sam, S-A-M. Second word, his last name is A-N. You can find him at Facebook. He has a couple of investment groups. Just tell him Brannon sent you. He'll take good care of you. I had him out in April at my It's Time event, and it was brilliant. Simple man. What I think is amazing about him, that I find super powerful, he owns one school in Chicago, in the worst part of Chicago, with about 110 students, he said. And he's a multimillionaire. He recognized 30 years ago that investing was the path to financial freedom. Look at Warren Buffett. Please look at Warren Buffett. People would like to simply write things off as day trading. Well, if that's the case, Warren Buffett's one of the big day traders in the world. He buys, he sells all the time. I think day trading is a term people use if they're ignorant and they're uneducated in the investment process, because that is a huge education. Learning to invest money is a huge education, and it is time consuming. Watching stocks, knowing when to buy, knowing when to sell, that alone is a whole nother art. And I'm passionate about that. I love learning, and I think that's the key to anybody's success in life, is learning. Because if I'm learning, I'm living, and if I'm living, I'm growing. And it's very important to constantly learn. But that learning at 55 years old, as I shared last night, is really based upon a good set of values that helps and guides me to seek out the right mentors, the right information, because Lord knows there's tons of information and there's tons of people giving it, including me. And unless I resonate with your values at a heart level, then please don't listen to me either, right? Ultimately, when the day's done, you got to listen to yourself. Cool? Adam, what's happening, sir? So reach out to Sam if you guys want to learn more about financial and if you want to hire him with his services. Good man, too. Very disciplined. Very disciplined. And I like that. Cool? Lots of hearts flying across and smiley faces. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get some questions in there, please. Give me some questions, you critical thinkers, you thought leaders. We are a collective. Ask those questions, and hopefully they're the right questions so you get the right answers for what you need, right? What you got? What you got? Come on. I was sharing a story today. Earlier I did a quick short post because I was just so amazed and overwhelmed. Has anybody ever been to DMV in your state? Department of Motor Vehicles? Anybody? Type it in. Who's been to DMV? Nobody? Nobody's ever had to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Cheers to you as well, Chris. I feel honored. Australia, Germany, Philippines, crazy Canada. 2 hours later, they will call your name, right? 2 hours later. So, I understand DMV. I do. And I kind of look at the way I approach my businesses. And this is very powerful. My sister is pretty much my assistant, so we made sure we got all the forms, filled them out, mock filled them out, then filled them out properly, checked, double checked, checked some more, got all our ducks in a row, made an appointment, took a month to get an appointment, and I walk up to DMV today very confident with all my paperwork. I needed to do some work with a new LLC, starting another business. And there was this long, ugly line out the door. I mean, long, ugly line out the door of DMV. And I walk up to the end of it, and I don't go to DMV, fortunately, or don't have to. And I said, is this the line for appointments? And a bunch of people, disgruntled, said, no way, this isn't the line. I said, okay. So I said, where's the appointment line? They go up there. And I walked past, I don't know, 40, 50 people into a line that had one person in it. Showed them my paperwork, what I needed. They gave me a number. I sat down and figured, okay, here we go. We're going to have to wait. And then I'm sitting there, and I look up. 15 minutes later, my number pops up. I go to the window. She was impressed. We had all our paperwork in order. Got me in and out. I got everything I needed done. New license plates, registrations, transferred 2 vehicles to a different LLC. All of that. And I walked out of there. And it really made me think that preparation is very, very important. And so many of us act emotionally. We behave out of fear. We act out of impatience. And we make knee-jerk decisions and reactions that impact our business incredibly. And it really reminded me today, with the success of negotiating DMV, how it's very, very important to methodically go through the steps in order to create a brand, create a why, create a culture, create that tribe, all those different things. I know it might sound foreign to you, but it's not to grow it into the successful business that you deserve. Cool? So, if you've ever been to DMV and you hear the experience I've had today, you and I would say, well, it's never like that in DMV. It's an anomaly. That's what people were saying to me when my school first did $1 million. Oh, that's just an anomaly. It's one school. It's personality driven. So, okay, I stopped teaching. I made it a systems driven business. It's still grossing the same amount. Oh, well, that's easy. You do it in one location. Well, guess what? Now we're doing it in two. So, that also taught me today, anytime someone tells you you can't, then you can't. Right? That's why you can't listen to anybody. You've really got to listen to yourself, because at the end of the day, you make the choices. You're the one that has to execute. You're the one that has to deliver. So please, you need to make those decisions for yourself. And at 55, my set of mentors is much different than when I was 25. Much different. My choices, my actions, my behavior is much different today than it was when I was 35. So knowing thyself inside and out at any point of your life is crucial to your success and your happiness. That's very important. Cool? Jackie, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? All right. So let's open up for more questions. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, courtesy of Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software. What you got, folks? Type them in. We got a lot of people aboard, a lot of listeners tonight, which I'm always grateful for. But you know me, I love your input. I love your input because we are a collective. I love the hearts. Thank you, thank you. Come on, somebody step up. Be the brave soul. Lay a question on me. Okay, so let me ask you a question. How many of you are planning your calendar for 2018 right now? Go. Anybody? Come on. So that's something I'll encourage you to do. I'm going to encourage you to take it a step further. Use a Google Calendar. And start with the most obvious things, belt testings, right? Get those all in there. Get in your camps. Get in your buddy days. Get in your parents' night out. Get in your women's self-defense workshops. All those different events. Get them in. Get them in, get them in. With your app, can you send personal messages? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if somebody leaves me one, I just click on their email and the body of it and respond right away. Absolutely. Oh, the whole thing, the vision for the van and the buses is to establish a separate LLC for the transportation of our after-school program. It, again, makes sure that there's no liability to be passed on to One Martial Arts Millbrae itself, because we're subleasing to KB Courtesy Shuttle, and it protects my home and personal assets. I choose K1 in California. The most effective way is LLCs. We set up these LLCs. I'm just the agent, the managing partner, and it protects my personal assets. That's the long and short why I do that. The San Francisco school is separate from the Millbrae school on paper. It's separate from the One Merit badges, is separate from the BrannonBeliso.com, is separate from the KB Courtesy Shuttle. I keep all my entities separate, so that way if any of them have challenges or problems, one can't be affected by the other. Very important, K1. Very important. Yeah, and if you don't have an app, Chris, I encourage you to get an app. My good buddy, too, mystudio.academy. His app is pretty simple, pretty effective. And it's something I would encourage you to look at. Cool? Adam, what is the most common reason you hear for when people quitting at your dojo? You know, I wish I could answer that, but does it matter? You know, other than, is it our service or the curriculum? Does it really matter? Right? Class times matter. The curriculum matters, our service matters, the way we're delivering classes matter. But if you quit because of soccer, or you quit because you're just done, you know, we don't spend a lot of time with that, Adam. We spend a lot of time nurturing the relationships of people that are in the school. People quit. That's just part of the game. They're gonna quit. That's life. That's life. Not everybody's meant to do martial arts like you and I. You know, I'm a lifer. I'll do this till I die. Not everybody's that way, nor are they meant to be. Parents happy, they look at it as an extracurricular activity. They do it for the summer, they're gone. They might come back next summer, you know? I can't spend a lot of time other than the immediate data that we take through surveys in Rainmaker where they rate our classes. And we do ask them when they leave, Adam, thank you for allowing us to serve you. If there's anything we could do to improve our service, please let us know, because that's our purpose, right? And the door is always wide open, and we're right here waiting for you if you ever want to return. So that's important to us, sir. So other than the immediate data to study attrition rates, which I can do through stats in Rainmaker, and looking at surveys, and when people exit, the reason we don't give them the third degree, Adam, because I want to make their exit just as amazing as their entrance. And sometimes when you get in that third line of questioning, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Let's see. There's the app. Paul Choi, welcome. Master Peoples, welcome. Anthony, welcome. Okay, I'm very interested in learning more about that. Is it all separate but owned under an umbrella company? No, or just completely separate altogether. They're all separate altogether. I can be an acting agent for multiple companies. That's fine. The big thing is don't commingle funds, don't commingle payroll, expenses, anything. We have a separate checking account for the new KB Courtesy Shuttle, separate payroll, separate credit card, separate everything. It will not be commingled with any of the expenses of the other businesses. That's very important, because you're right. As they say, K1, if you can pierce the umbrella, right? Pierce the umbrella. They're not looking for emotional stuff. They're looking for straight facts. Give me the paperwork, right? And if it all looks good on paper, then guess what? You're cool. You pass, right? So, like with our camps, we're certified by the American Camp Accreditation, one of the highest accreditations, which we failed the first time, we passed the second time, right? We use TASMA, Jim King's program out of Florida. Again, another layer of certification, where we can sit there and be able to talk policies and go to bat as needed. So many, not just martial arts school owners, so many businesses function illegally, improperly. And all it takes is one small phone call, and your businesses can be shut down. So we need to be extremely mindful of that. Cool? All right. Hey, Jeffrey Hendrick. That's a new name, sir. Jeff, where are you tuning in from? Peter Voss. Anybody new aboard? Let me know the name of your school and where you're tuning in from, and I would greatly appreciate that. Jeremy is asking, does anyone ever let you know how to improve your service? All the time, sir. All the time. I mean, just a simple service in Rainmaker. Surveys. Every 11 days, a survey goes out. And they can rate us. 4 stars is awesome, 3 is decent, 2 you suck, 1 ding ding ding. It happened Sunday. We got a 1-star rating in San Francisco. Okay? Immediately, I get an email. It says urgent. Oh, hate when I see those. But you know what? I don't hate them anymore as much as I embrace them as an opportunity to know the health of my business. Other than, the financials. I get P&Ls every month, balance sheets. That's just part of it, right? But I'm able to look at that survey objectively. And what happened was the instructor overslept. So somebody else had to step up that was there, taught for them, started the class late. The client was unhappy. So what we can do with that, though, is they have a voice, and now we can rectify that. If they're on a class card for kickboxing, we'll give them a free class. If they're regular members, I don't know, we'll bump their tuition by 2 days, whatever. But if you're proactive, they're giving you this information so that you can make a correction. So the instructor hit me up. He said, what should I do? I said, apologize. It's never happened. It's not in your characteristics. You know everybody who attended that class on Sunday because we took attendance, right? Apologize to everybody. Offer some kind of way of making amends and move forward. Again, it's not something you do all the time, and to be honest, tell them you're moving. You thought your phone was charging, it wasn't, and it's something that you're very apologetic for, and it won't happen again. Pretty simple. But see, if we didn't get that survey, Jeremy, then we wouldn't know how to do that. And then beyond that, we culturally have a saying. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. So that's one of our brand absolutes. That's one of our cultural values that we live by. And I also believe if I'm not getting better, I'm getting worse, and I can always do and be better. So it starts from the top down. That's my mindset for life. We instill it in our team, and we're constantly looking for ways. I had a new front desk kid, and he's only like, I don't know, 19 years old. And I stopped by after soccer and stuff, and we were trying to figure out this storage room. He said, I was thinking we should do da-da-da-da-da to make more room to put more cases. I said, that's a good idea. Why didn't you do it? He goes, I don't know. I said, well, what's the worst that could have happened? You would have made me move it back? I said, yes. Yes, that's all that would have happened. So if I'm sharing, if you have this great idea to make more room so we could put more supplies in here, go for it. Because I want you to apply. Alan will tell you, right? If you're still there, Alan, that, jiu-jitsu by itself, in theory, is theory. It's only practical application that we really understand. So you have an idea. But what good is your idea unless you execute it and test it and review it, right? Through implementation and training. You can't be afraid to make mistakes. You can't be afraid to mess up. So that's part of our culture, Jeremy, is service for us is something we hire to begin with. We hire people that love to serve, and then we lead by example through service. All our community events, everything we do, we fulfill that service and improve our service by living from that brand absolute. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. All those things. Cool. Katie, Uger, Rocco, Anna Marie, welcome. Lots of new names here. So you're coming aboard. Tell me the name of your school. Tell me what city you're tuning in from. And if not, if you're somebody who doesn't own a school, even better. I'm proud to have lots of people on all over the world who have read my book, Live, Learn, Grow, which is really a self-help, self-discovery book, offering the opportunity to see through my experiences how I found happiness and success. And I'm still working on it. Believe me, I'm always working on it. Next question, what you got? Cool, I'm caught up on my questions. What you got next? Come on, come on, come on. I still got 18 minutes on this bike. My discipline is to keep this in an hour. We've had nights we're running over, but I don't care. I don't care that we're going over. It's just such a collective energy, and I'm very grateful for it. To teach something is to learn it twice, and I learn a lot through your questions. They make me think about my business. They think about how I can improve upon what I do in every aspect. So I think another value, Jeremy, that we push passionately is humility. People know how we feel about that, and we welcome their input all the time. And for us, it's very important, because if I don't listen to my tribe and I simply give them lip service, I'm really missing the boat, right? So we welcome their input. We welcome their thoughts. We welcome their opinions. It's very important. Anna Marie Sanchez, in regards to school, what are you referring to? You asked, and I actually just stumbled into you. Thank you. You're in San Francisco. Anna Marie, don't you write books? I think you write books. Because your name seems very familiar to me as an author. Am I correct? And you might know my cousin. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Karen. My cousin Karen. What we are is the majority of the people here, Anna Maria, are school owners. And they own martial arts schools. And they're small business owners, and they're entrepreneurs. And we are a collective of people who exchange thoughts and ideas, and I guess I kind of facilitate this craziness. And we would consider ourselves critical thinkers, thought leaders, and they hang out with this madman here. They call me a disruptor in the industry, and that's it. That's me. I'm a disruptor. Next question, please. Put it in, put it in. You know, the other thing I've really learned about life is that you're right where you're supposed to be. And many times the position we're in is the one we put ourselves in. So I recognize that it also is up to me to get myself out. And I recognize that most of the time it's my mindset. And how do you change your mindset? Well, it's like any other habit. You find a new way to think, you practice it, it becomes habit, and then you work it into your routine. Your mind is no different than your body. What you put into it is what you're going to put out. And if you put healthy, positive thinking that is in line with your values and what you believe in, the potential is unlimited. It really, really is. But if I continue to live from where I came from as a child, I grew up very poor, impoverished, survivalistic mentality, which is very unhealthy. I don't want to survive, I want to thrive. And thriving takes courage, real courage. It's easy to live in fear of complacency, where I'm paralyzed and don't make any moves, or simply repeat the same moves over and over out of familiarity. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. All right, do we have any other questions tonight before I wrap this one up? Get them in, get them in. Seems like the collective is listening more than they are asking questions, and that's cool too. You know, some people will tell me they'll clean the house while they're listening to me. They'll run with me in the mornings. They'll listen to me in the car. And it's cool. It's very powerful. Very grateful for that, to be allowed a platform to share my voice. Cool. All right, so let's start wrapping this up. Oh, correct on both counts, and yes, Karen is my bud. Disruption is a necessity when a system like ours is so fractured already. No coincidence. Obviously, I tuned in, divinely guided. I'm liking what you're saying. Thank you. I do believe that as well, that everything is supposed to happen the way it does. I know that sounds a lot like kumbaya for some very statistic-driven people. Scientists would probably disagree with us, but I believe in that. Things of that nature, Anna Maria. So, welcome, and thank you for the kind words and tuning in. Greg, if you get a referral from a member, what is the best way to reward them? We don't. We used to give out $1, and we all collectively agreed it really cheapened the process, right? We'd sometimes announce it at the end of class. Hey, Johnny referred little Susie Smith, and for that, we'd like to give them $51 to use in the pro shop or any way that they'd like. Well, I liken it to, it's no different than when you solicit reviews, right, for your business. Please leave a 5-star review and we'll give you $10 off your next meal. You're basically buying reviews. I don't want to do that. I want to earn each one organically through building trust, through earning it each and every class, each and every verbal exchange, each and every human interaction. That for us is what we do. So we stopped doing that. But here's what you could do, Greg. Again, being in tune with your tribe. Let's say hypothetically, you got a mom who's a raving fan. She's got 3 kids. She pays you for lessons. She volunteers to do the Halloween party for you. All those different things. Well, and she loves Starbucks. Why not get her a Starbucks gift card and put it in a nice mug? Something like that is a lot more personal, and it shows you put thought into it. But ultimately, your raving fans are grateful to refer other people. They really are. A real thank you, a sincere thank you, and personal acknowledgement goes a lot further than $1, a lot further than publicly acknowledging, hey, you referred somebody, so here's this money, so everybody else knows that if you refer, you're going to get this too. We tried. We tried it, and when the day was done, it just never felt perfect. It kind of almost tainted it. So that's why we don't do that anymore, Greg. It's really a personal acknowledgement, one by one. And we find that's much more significant. Because, Greg, think about it. We do the free parents' night out. We do free bully workshops. We do, we give back through community service, donating our cotton candy machine to every elementary school, supporting every silent auction with over 50 birthday parties. We figured out on paper, it's something like $30,000, $40,000 we donate back to the community every year. So they're happy to refer. They're happy to do that type of exchange with us because we're giving back in so many ways. And we actually cheapen it. Once again, we cheapen that experience by doing that. Cool? All right, next question. You're hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso. Success Never Sleeps. Courtesy of Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software. For the new people coming aboard, as I shared, we are a collective of critical thinkers, thought leaders. We do not fall in line. We do not live from the herd mentality. We question authority, we challenge Big Brother, and we find our way to create happiness and success in our lives, but with a sense of integrity and values, right? When somebody says to me, it's not personal, it's business, I can't stand that, because it is personal, because it is my business, and I'm ever mindful of that. It's very important to me. Doing the right thing, we always know about doing the right thing. It's just, do we always do the right thing? That's the hard part, right? That's the hard part. And I'm very passionate about putting people before profits. And that's important. Somebody was sharing, they did a parents' night out, and the kid was very aggressive. He hit other kids. He, stood off with an instructor. And this whole thread went about, put sparring gear on him. Spar him with somebody. Spar. I'm like, really? Or do we still think that way? Is it that barbaric? Is it that base? Right? This kid might have special needs. There might be other issues. Because I guess when they brought it up to the parent just made a bunch of excuses. Well, then you have to decide, are you a good fit for this child? And if you're not, then you shouldn't be serving them, because we humbly have to accept we cannot serve everybody. We can't. And you need to be okay with that. But can you be empathetic? Can you be kind in that process? Understand what that parent must be going through. Believe me, your school or environment probably is not the first situation they've had where their kid has hit somebody else or challenged authority, right? So, I believe we can do all of it. Cool. All right, we're going to start wrapping this up. What are your 3 big takeaways for tonight? Go. Give me your big takeaways. Go. Hey, Jerry, what's happening, sir? Mr. Castro, one of my favorite friends and instructors. What are our 3 big takeaways for tonight? What are they? Type them in. And while you type them in, I'm going to share my spiel as I always do. My new book, Live, Learn, Grow, Lessons of a Reluctant Tiger. It's available at Amazon.com. If you want to pick them up in bulk, PM me for that. Great thing for your team to read. You should read it. I know several schools are reading it and having discussions about it, which I think is really powerful. They're discussing the different chapters. And I think that's pretty amazing. My new kids book, The Adventures of Bray and Tay. That is also out now. The first book is on focus. School owners are carrying it in their pro shops. They are giving them away as birthday gifts, because what they really do is perpetuate the life skills that we uniquely, as martial artists, teach better, I would hope, than any other learning environment that are offered for kids. Cool? And then lastly, my new event, my next event, the final one of the year, It's Time Live Encore, is coming up November 12th. Stay for 1 day. You can stay for 2, November 11th and 12th, or 4 days, the 11th through the 14th. All right? Come on, what's our big takeaways tonight? Put them in. Help me out, folks. I'm down to 5 minutes and 40 seconds on this bike. 60 minutes I spend with you. Come on. What are our big takeaways for tonight? Nothing? No takeaways tonight? Come on. Teach me now. Tell me what your big takeaways are and why. What are your big takeaways, folks? All right, so I'm going to give you my takeaways. I think my biggest takeaway is that we no longer as an industry will walk around with our eyes wide open and be totally asleep. I think we as an industry are waking up to a new way of doing business, to each our own way of doing business. I think we're recognizing that the path to that is inward, not outward. It's very introspective. It's a lot of hard work. And we recognize it's not just about getting 10 new students. We recognize it's about developing a brand and a why and a culture and a tribe and the systems and the team and the action plan to support it, that there's so many moving parts. We can no longer just look at one. You can no longer be just a martial artist. You can no longer just be a martial arts instructor. You can no longer be just a successful small business owner. You move into that entrepreneurship and broaden that palette, always rooted in values such as integrity, doing the right thing by people, and always put people before profits. And I promise you, a higher level of profitability. Jeremy, all right. LLC, every company apart from one. Yep. Another, listen to your audience. Yep. Concentrate on the whys and not the why nots. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy to do that. Focus on the negative. Negative's easy. It embraces you like a warm blanket on a cold night. Negativity's like that. Finding positivity in a negative, cynical world is really the challenge of what we do. And we as school owners, as tribe builders, we create the shelter from the storm. People find solace in us in a world of bullying, in a world of fear, in a world of insecurity, lack of self-confidence. And we have a very unique opportunity to cultivate that in every aspect of what we do. Hey, what's up, Zen Dojos? Okay, any other big takeaways tonight? 2 minutes and counting. All right, so I'm going to wrap this big dog up. Thank you to Rainmaker, my sponsors. Scott, Michael, Devin, Jeff, Brittany, Christina. There's so many people out there. I don't want to forget any. Thank you for supporting my vision. I share it all the time. They don't censor me. They don't tell me what to do. I have free reign. And that's why they're my sponsor. For my services, consulting and otherwise, go to brannonbeliso.com for the It's Time Live event coming up. Go to brannonbeliso.com/itstime/live. And I just want to say thanks. You know, we're all just trying to get through this thing called life together. And some days are better than the others. But I believe together, as one, that we offer ourselves a better opportunity. You know, we really do. So just know that you don't have to go through this thing alone. I'll try to be here nightly, if not every other night. And I'll share my thoughts, and you can interject as we're doing this collective of people. Take this, share it with as many people as you can. Watch it again and again. And thanks to K1, we now have all of these up at YouTube. He's posting them all quickly, and they're coming up. So if you get a chance, go to YouTube. You can watch all of these and more. There's so many there now. Thanks to K1 getting them all down from Facebook and moving them over. And just don't fret about it. You know, in the words of Brandon Lee, it can't rain all the time. And I say that not in a negative way. Because in the words of Dalai Lama, it's easy to be great when things are going your way. Can you be great when life is difficult? That is truly what builds our character. That's what truly makes us a better person. Much like lifting weights, the muscle's only going to grow when it's overloaded, right? We tear it down at a micro level and it reshapes. Same thing with our own mindset. You know, only when we're under stress, under duress, under those challenges of life, we find that gumption, we find out what we're made of, we find out who we are. Complacency is truly the enemy. And that familiarity of doing the same thing over and over and over, and you get the same old results, nothing will happen. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Or you can choose to stand still. And many people do that. Wake up 20 years, 100 students, 30 years, 100 students, 40 years, rationalizing their behavior, rationalizing, you know, their state of affairs. And that's a choice. I choose not. I choose to empty my cup. I choose to pull back my covers. I choose to be vulnerable in word, thought, and action with you and everything that I do. I don't want to be put up on a pedestal, because if I try something in my school and it goes horribly wrong, I don't have that far to fall, you know, to hit the ground. And if I can share my fear, I can share my challenges with my team, with my culture, with my tribe, I endear and earn that trust, and together we can. Cool? So if you feel the same way, then, you know, hang out with us when next time we're on for Success Never Sleeps With Me. Brannon Beliso, courtesy of Rainmaker Membership Systems and Software. Until we talk again, please, you go out there and live your best life.